Hello? Hello? Your mic is off due to the size of the call.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, now it is audible, right? 1 minute. Hello?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Uh, 1 minute, 1 minute. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. Okay. Good morning, students. So it was showing the error. Your mic is off due to the size of the call. We have not exceeded 200, but I don't know what was the reason. Now it's okay. Students, today I will execute and see some of the programs with respect to files concepts. See, already we have spent 2 hours in learning the files concepts. Today we'll see execution of files concepts. At the same time, today I'll give you one activity wherein you are expected to execute 1 or 2 programs and send me the screenshots along with source code. So that is what the plan for today. Students, 1 minute, I'll share my screen. Students, can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Students, look at this. This is a sample program to demonstrate the concepts of files. So in the previous classes, we saw the concepts, but we did not execute. Today we'll see only execution part. Then you can do one activity. So here in this code snippet, we are trying to open a file and we are trying to read characters from the file. At the same time, what we are doing, we are searching for the lines which starts with the capital letter H. Already I have created my file.txt that is there in my current working directory. Now I'm trying to open it and I want to read only those lines that are starting with H. You can see for that purpose what I have done here. File pointer or the file handler is equal to open of my file.txt. So usually we specify 2 parameters or only 1 parameter. But maximum how many parameters that we can set here is as part of open. See, the open method has got 3 implementation, that is one with 1 parameter, 2 parameter and 3 parameter. Always the first parameter is the file name and the second parameter can be the file mode. If at all you want to specify the third parameter, that is the attribute. The third that is not the parameter, that is the attribute, that is encoding is equal to, you can set the value. Okay, that I'll show you in another program. So how to set the encoding for your row. See, now we have opened the file and we have not specified any mode, but that means by default it will assume read mode. You're opening it in read mode. For line in file handle, so the file handler always points to the beginning of the file. So instead of the file name, we have used file handler. Line is the iteration variable. If line dot starts with H, if the first line starts with H, display the line. Otherwise, no action. Once again, repeat the for loop. Go to second line. Similarly, check if the second line starts with capital H, then display the complete line. It is print line. Like that, it will repeat for all the lines. Now I have created a file which contains 3 lines. My file.txt. Now let us see. Among those 3 lines, there are 2 lines that starts with the word capital H. Now it has to display 2 lines. See here, hi, how are you? Hi and how are you? Okay, first I'll show you the contents of my file.txt. Students, see here the contents of myfile.txt. I think you can see here. Good morning. Hi, how are you? And how is your day? So it contains 3 lines. This is the contents of myfile.txt. Now let us go back to the source code. Now we'll do a little bit modifications to the file. Now let us see, instead of capital H, let me put small h. Now what should be the output? It should not select any file because the Python is case sensitive. You don't have any line starting. You can see here, it is not displaying anything because there is no line that starts with small h. Then the second program. Students, look at this program. We are making this program interactive. How to make any program interactive is to allow the user to enter the input from the keyboard. So therefore, in this program, we are asking the user to enter the file name, and we are saving it in the variable by name fname, that is which represents file name. Then we are opening the same file what user has entered. Now what happens? If the file exists, it will not create any error. If the file is not existing, in that case it will create an error. File handle is equal to open of file name. Then here the aim of my program is to count how many lines are there in the text file. Whatever the file that you are passing as the input, within that file you need to count how many lines are there. Now for that we will rely on for loop for line in file handle. File handle is nothing but the pointer, the pointer which points to the starting address of the file. Now we are in the first iteration, so count is equal to count plus 1. That is, initially count is equal to 0. Now count has become 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. Then line number, that is count, because we are in the first line, the count represents 1, so the line number is 1 colon contents of the line. So that means, so it is not just only counting how many lines are there, you should display line number 1 and the contents of the line, line number 2 and the contents of the line, line number 3 and the contents of the line. Like that we need to display all the line numbers and the contents also. After that, at the end, when we come out of the for loop, you can see here we have total lines is equal to count. That means after displaying all the lines, automatically we will come out of the for loop. When the for loop identifies the last line, immediately it will come, it cannot execute the next iteration, so it will come out of the for loop. Then here we have a cumulative count that we are going to display here. Total lines is equal to count. Then finally finally close the file that you have opened. Now let us see the output. Okay, already we have created a file, myfile.txt. Now what I'll do, I'll give only my file. No, because there is an file extension .txt that I should give. So hence it is created error. Now myfile.txt. But here line number 1, good morning. Line number 2, hi, how are you? Line number 3, how is your day? Total lines is equal to 3. So now this is the comprehensive output which displays the line number as well as the content and finally number of lines. Students, look at here. Here also we are not specifying any mode. That means here also it has opened in read mode. Students, any doubt in this? Indentation is very important. Okay, indentation is very important. For example, see, I'll show you. Okay, I just increased one blank character. Now I'll save it. See here, unindent does not match any outer indentation level. So how to do the indentation, students? Anyhow, okay, if you have a doubt, just okay, go here, come near the colon, hit one enter, automatically it will set the indentation. Okay, automatically it will only set the indentation. So now it will work. Students, why I am showing this? Because while correcting your blue books, I have saw you people have written the programs where there is no indentation. Few students have written the programs with indentation and few students have written without any indentation. The source code has gone like a train. So for such programs have deducted 1 marks. Because you also know that when there is no indentation, Python will not work. Even Unix and Python both will not work. That is very, very important. Even one blank character matters a lot. See where you can give, see there is, say for example, here you have written count is equal to 0. I have given one space. Here if you do not give space also not an issue, it will work. But as I told here, just if you increase one count, sorry, one blank character, it will not work. So that means we need to know, so how the behavior of the Python, so how much strict it is in terms of structuring the program. Is a strict, strongly structured programming language, or we say strictly structured programming language. File name. Say for example, now I'll give some file which is not at all existing. Let us see what error it will throw. Paste back. So there is an error in line 2 module. File handle is equal to open of file name. That means it is failing to open the file because there is no file with that name what I have entered here. File not found error. Now to overcome this, let us see what to do. To overcome this, what can be done? Now we will see. See students, to overcome this, it is better to apply exception handling mechanism. So that means we know that when the under what circumstances error will occur, the moment when you try to open a program which is not existing, and if you are opening it in read mode, especially it will give an error. But what happens similarly, if you are trying to open a file which is not at all existing, but you are trying to open it in read mode, sorry, write mode. If that is the case, the Python interpreter will create one file with the name that you are suggesting and it will open when you are opening it in write mode. But when you are opening it in read mode, if it is not existing, it will just generate an error. Now look at here, the previous program only. So enter the file name. Just before opening of the file, I am applying try block. If it is not able to open, when the file is not existing, it will execute the except part. When the try fails, it will execute except part. When the try portion will execute successfully, it will skip the except part. Then, so far I didn't tell you the finally block. Finally block is one block of code which will execute mandatorily or compulsorily. Okay, say for example, if the file is existing, then also finally block will be executed. If the file is not executed, then also finally block will be executed. Just to demonstrate that, here I am using finally block. So therefore, students, in Java you have used finally block, isn't it? Am I right? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So there, for what purpose we use it finally block there? If you want to write any message to the user, or if you want to write any instructions which has to be executed compulsorily irrespective of the occurrence of the exception. Under those circumstances, we use finally block. Okay, then count is equal to 0. We want one local variable to keep track how many lines are there. So then we come into the for loop for line in file handle. Count is equal to 1 in the first iteration, then the line number and the contents of the line. So similarly, this process will be repeated for all the lines. For all the lines, once it executes all the lines, then it will come out of the for loop and it will execute the total lines is equal to count. So here there is a counter variable which will keep track of how many lines are there, that will be displayed here. Then finally close the program. Now let us see what will happen if you run this program. Enter a file name, myfile.txt. See here, myfile.txt finally block has executed compulsorily. Line 1, good morning. Line 2, how are you? And line 3, how is your day? Then total lines is equal to 3. That means, see, now this is one scenario where the file is existing. So it is existing, but still the finally block is executed. Okay. Since the file is existing, it has skipped the except block and it has executed finally. Now I'll take another scenario. Now I'll give some name. Okay, this file is not existing. See here. Now also finally block has executed compulsorily. That means if you want to execute something compulsorily, irrespective of the occurrence of the exception, then we can use finally block. Otherwise, it is not at all required. Only for try and except are good enough for us. File cannot be found. See, this is the hint to the user. So where we have put this instruction, students? File cannot be found. This is the message given by the developer in the except block. You can see here we have an except block here. See, then students, whenever you use exit statement, you should be very cautious. See here, I have made it as a comment. Now I'll remove it as a comment. Now have exit statement. Let us see now what will happen. Should be very cautious while using that. Now I'll enter the file name which is not at all existing. Your program is still running. Do you want to kill it? Okay. So the prompt itself will close. So that's why I made it as a comment, which is not required for us. See, I have written finally block, which must be executed compulsorily. But what happening? See, the control will come like this. Before reaching the finally block itself, you are exiting the program. Then how this will be displayed? Then there will be no meaning for finally block. So that is why, for that reason, I want to make this as a comment, or I want to exclude exit statement. Got it, students? What is the reason behind making this comment? Once again, I'll show you the output. Okay, source code must be saved. See, now file is not existing. Since we have written the finally block, it has to execute compulsorily. But before the finally block, I have used the exit statement. So that's why. So I have made it as a comment, right? Yes. Now if I remove that, see here, file cannot be found, but finally block is not displayed so far. It is terminating the prompt. So that's why I want to make it as a comment. Students, you have any doubt in implementing exception handling? So you have everything in one program. You have try block, except block, and finally block. Look at the indentation. Don't forget the indentation. Indentation is very important. Any doubt in exception handling, students? Exception handling is one of the major concept in any programming language. Oh, it closed. Now we'll see one more program, students. So I have this program, just I wanted to demonstrate these parameters. See here, now I am using open method with the three parameters, that is file name, mode, and the encoding. So the third parameter is encoding, which will tell how you want to encode your source program. I want to encode my source program by using Unicode text format 8-bit. That means each character will be encoded using 8 bits. That's the meaning. If I put 16, that means each character in the file will be encoded using 16 bits. Students, we need to understand what is the purpose of encoding. Say for example, uh, you are transferring your file from one system to another system, to a remote system. So at that time, what happens? Or say for example, um, you want to do remote login into some other system and you want to access. So that means there comes the role of FTP protocol. FTP is what? File transfer protocol. See, by default it is very insecure protocol. So that means during transfer of the file, contents are not at all encoded. So during such times, what happens? If your programs are having encoding, if you have set encoding attribute, that is good. Otherwise it is insecure. So for that reason, what usually we do when we are dealing with these especially Unix systems, instead of using FTP, we use SSH. SSH is what? Secure shell, which is also an file transfer protocol, which we can use to do remote login. So therefore, so if I want to simply simplify this, just for security reasons, we set encoding. Okay, UTF-8. I have a file by name new file.txt. Encoding is equal to UTF-8, and I am opening it in write mode. Students, now in this system, I don't have any file by name new file. I don't have right now any file with the name new file.txt. Now, if I try to open new file.txt and I have select the write mode, in this case, it will create, first it will check in the current working directory whether is there any file by name new file.txt. So it is not there. So it will create one file by name new file.txt and it will open it in write mode, and while saving it will encode the source code in UTF-8 format. It is Unicode text format. Now I want to write into the file. How to write contents into the file? File pointer dot write. See here. So this can be file handler or file pointer. You can give any meaningful name. You can give any meaningful name. So FPTR means file pointer dot write. So this is the content I want to write. After writing one line, I want to insert new line. So I have inserted new line. Similarly, second line. Then finally close the file. Now let us run this program. Okay. See here, students, tell me how to demonstrate output of this program. See, when we run this program, we are not saying anything. Why, students? Answer me.
We didn't use print statements anywhere.
Yeah. Now how to demonstrate the output?
After write, we have to print the whatever we wrote.
Okay. What is the second other way of demonstration of output? That is correct, what you told. Then what is the other way?
Finally,
Yeah, we should go to our present working directory. Then we have to show that yes, see, this file is created and the contents are written into the file. So now we should go to the directory. So I think I am in downloads. Yes, I am operating from downloads. Here, new file.txt. It has created first line, second line. That means in which directory you have created the source file, in the same directory it will create the file. Okay, see, it's an interview question. Say for example you are working under C colon program files Python. So that is the source folder, and also in that source folder you have saved your program. You tell me, if you open a new file, where it will be stored? If you are creating a file using write mode, where it will be created? So it will be created in the in the directory where you have the source file. Source file is file for .py. So it is there in downloads. So therefore in downloads itself it has created new file .txt. Students, so now we know how to open the file using various modes, then how to use mode and how to use encoding. Then we are now capable of reading from the file, writing into the file and search for particular lines in the file. Now, so only one concept is remaining. So seek function and so few more functions are there. Now I'll give you one task. Apart from read method, write method and starts with. Okay. So there are some few more methods. You have to try any two methods including seek method. Execute the program, then post your source code along with output. I'll create the assignment. So instead of quiz today, that is the task for you. You have to explore file concept. You have to learn at least two new methods under files. Then execute those things and send me the output. Everything should not become spoon feeding, isn't it? Students, okay? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you
Yes,
have
sir.
to implement two more methods which I have not taught. Then execute them, then send me the output along with the source code. Say for example, you create a PDF, page 1 contains source code, page 2 contains output, like that. I'll create the assignment now. So that itself is the attendance. Now I will call any name for attendance. Evening, by evening I'll check. Evening at 4:30 I'll check how many students have sent. For those many students I'll give you the attendance. That's it, students. You can start working now. You start exploring what are the other methods available in file. You implement any two methods which I have not taught, then send me the screenshots. Okay, start working. Students, you can submit the assignment. You can submit the assignment. Now I will close the meeting. Later we submit the assignment.
Sir, in files concept, we should. ಕಾವ್ಯಕ್ ನನ್ನ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ?
ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಿದೆ.
ಓಕೆ.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning. Students,
Good
today
morning.
sir is not available. So on some official work, he went somewhere. So sir has given some assignment. Now I'll post that assignment. You have to solve those programs and post the output to GCR, to Sudarshan sir's GCR. 1 minute, I'll check. Where is this file? One minute, I'll share my screen. Students, look at this problem. Sir has given two problems. First one is write and analyze an algorithm using master for quicksort and apply the quicksort algorithm for the following. Sir has given the values. For this, you have to apply the quicksort algorithm by using the above set technique. Okay, apply quicksort by using above set technique. Then second one, for the graph, apply Prim's algorithm to draw the spanning tree. Using the Prim's algorithm, you have to draw the spanning tree for the second problem, and for first problem, you have to apply quicksort, then trace it using master for quicksort algorithm. Students, can you take the screenshot of it? Or else it will be open like this only. It will be open, and you be there as part of the meeting itself. Until 10:30, you be part of the meeting. Hello. Sudarshan sir, the activity kottidini madam. Nandala.
Sir, when we have to
Sudarshan
submit?
sir, the activity ado. ಇಲ್ಲ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಅವರೇನೆ ಅವರು ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ ಏನೋ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ.